When it comes to effective software development strategies, two distinct approaches often lock horns: trunk-based development and long-lived feature branches. Each has its unique merits and challenges, and knowing which one to adopt can significantly influence your project's success. In this video, we'll delve deep into the pros and cons of both approaches. So what is trunk-based development? Trunk-based development is a software development approach where developers frequently integrate their code changes into a single shared branch, known as the trunk or mainline. The goal is to perform small incremental updates to minimize merge conflicts and streamline the development pipeline. Continuous integration, or CI, is often an integral part of this strategy as it allows for quick detection and resolution of issues. So what is a long-lived feature branch? Long-lived feature branching, on the other hand, involves creating separate branches to develop new features or make significant changes. These branches live independently of the mainline for extended periods, allowing developers to work in isolation. Once the feature or change is ready and tested, it's then merged back into the mainline, often requiring a comprehensive review and potentially complex conflict resolution. Branching strategies like GitFlow popularize this approach, and it's extremely common in open source software where typically community contributors do not have mainline access. So they create a branch and make pull requests to get it into the mainline. The term long-lived is given without any particular measure. How long is long really depends on how active the codebase is. The amount of change to the mainline since the branch was opened is the important factor, not necessarily the calendar time since the branch was first created or synchronized with the main branch. Trunk-based development pros and cons. So some of the pros of trunk-based development. You get a quick feedback loop. Continuous integration allows for instant feedback, making it easier to identify earlier issues. You can reduce merge hell. Merging becomes simpler due to frequent integrations. Increased collaboration. The pull and merge routine encourages better communication. Faster time to market. Features can be deployed quicker and more often for testing and user feedback. Simplified development pipeline. A single source of truth makes CI/CD, or continuous integration, continuous deployment, configurations easier. So some of the cons are: it relies on strong testing. Without robust automated testing, this approach can be very risky, but you probably should have good automated tests in place anyway, which in turn unlocks this capability. So it is not ideal for large changes. Significant architectural updates can be tricky to implement incrementally. Of course, even if you generally follow a trunk-based approach, you could make exceptions for sweeping major updates. Feature flag complexity. Although useful, feature flags can add an additional layer of complexity. The conditional logic tends to add clutter, and once features are added, additional effort must be put in place to remove the conditions. Long-lived feature branches pros and cons. So some of the pros are isolation. Developers can work on large features without affecting the main line. Another one is code stability. The main branch remains stable. Automated protections can help ensure only tested, working code is allowed to be merged into the main branch. It's suited for big bang changes. So this is ideal for implementing significant changes. Often overkill for small incremental improvements. Long-lived feature branches can become really cumbersome if you're just making a small feature fix. Flexible release planning. Features can be bulk released by using yet another branch for a release and merging several feature branches into the release branch before finally merging this release branch into main. This is especially useful for interdependent features. That's why I find that most corporations really enjoy using long-lived feature branches, because it allows you to be more selective into what's going to go into a release. So some of the cons. Merge hell. The older a branch is, the harder it is to merge. Dealing with merge conflicts can consume a significant amount of a team's time if branches are frequently allowed to stray from the main line for extended periods of time. It also can make the testing really important because you have to test every piece that could have been merged along the way to make sure nothing got overwritten. Another con is slow feedback loop. Integration happens less frequently and certainly not continuously. Problems and incompatibilities between features can be detected later, often only after merging into the main is attempted. It also can reduce collaboration. Working in isolation can be counterproductive. Code duplication, miscommunication, stalled efforts, and more can all occur more easily in a lone developer's long-lived feature branch than in a mainline branch in which the whole team is actively participating. Mainline drift. The feature branch may diverge significantly from the mainline. This usually happens when development continues on the mainline after the feature branch was created. Rebasing or merging the mainline into the feature branch frequently can mitigate this, but often isn't practiced by team members, resulting in merge hell described by above. So one of the important things to avoid this is to make sure that you're pulling from the mainline very frequently if you have a feature branch that's lived out there for a long time. Now, by utilizing feature flags, you can safely integrate and deploy work-in-progress code into the mainline and enable it only when it's ready for release. And of course, feature flags don't have to be hard-coded in your code, nor do they need to be Boolean. You can use feature flags to enable features for beta customers, testers, or to allow different tiers of subscribers to unlock additional features, just as many SaaS products do today. You can also configure feature flags that turn themselves on at a given moment, allowing for new features to be released at any time without interactions from the DevOps team. So this kind of takes us into another topic of deploy versus release. I often ask developers and occasionally social media what they think the difference is between deploying their software and releasing it. A sizable number always say there's no difference at all. If you don't use any sort of feature flags, every deployment is going to have the same effect as a release. But if you're able to deploy your software as a technical engineering practice while allowing the business to make a business decision about when to release new features, you enable much better business agility. So the trick to this is deploy more often and release only when you want to using feature toggles. And that way they can release whenever it makes sense for the business. So in conclusion, whether you choose trunk-based development or long-lived feature branches largely depends on your team's need, the complexity of your project, and your business requirements. Trunk-based development is particularly effective in environments requiring quick iteration and fast feedback loops. On the other hand, long-lived feature branches are more suited for projects that require significant changes, which may be risky to introduce incrementally. In any case, the best strategy is one that adapts to your project's needs while mitigating its challenges. It's not a matter of one size fits all, but finding the perfect fit for your team. So today we've explored the pros and cons of trunk-based development and long-lived feature branches. The choice between these two, again, depends on your project, your team, and the complexity. Whichever path you choose, remember that the strategy should be adaptable to your specific requirements. And that's why here at Starter Pack, we love training software developers. We can take anybody with zero experience and take them from no experience to a full-stack software developer in as little as 3 months. So check out the links down below or refer to your friends to go to starterpack.com today.